So I wanted to do a video to talk about a few things. November the 5th, 2013, I went to the Million Mast March in London. So I was walking through the crowd, as you do, bumped into Russell Brand, which was, well, started amazing because I'm a big fan of him. And with him being in the news lately with his interview, to prove that he actually made the effort to come and join us on the march was amazing. And he was just walking through the crowd on his own, just like anybody else would, and fair play to him. So I just want to say thank you, Russell Brand, for supporting us. There's a lot of rumours going around saying that he's up to something, trying to lead us down the wrong path or something like that. I don't know. When I say about listening to stories and let's just put it this way, we got David Icke, we got Russell Brand, we got loads of speakers out there. When they do a speech, listen to them, have a listen. Don't take their word for it. If there's a lot of theories out there, if they tell you a story or a fact, take it into your mind, your subconscious mind, and if it intrigues you, go research on it. Go find out for yourself. Don't take their word for it, because yeah, they could be right about 10 things, but they could be wrong about 5 other things. So don't believe everything you say. Don't believe everything you see and read. That's what I'm going to say. So with Russell Brand, yeah, let's take on what he says on board. And to be fair, most of his stuff is common sense. Do you know what I mean? Most of his stuff is just wake the hell up and see what's actually out there. David Icke covers a lot of interesting facts and theories and things that he's seen in his mind, which is very interesting. And a lot of people hate him, a lot of people think he's crazy, but they're opinions. Do you know what I mean? Like, just take them on board and do what you want with it, but don't just believe it, It could be true, you might find out it is true one day, but in the meantime, just take it on board. Don't believe everything you see and read. But yeah, so this march, it was interesting. I learned a lot of things from it. There was 5,000 people? I believe there was 2 groups of people. There was the group I was in, which was outside the Houses of Parliament, and then there was another group of a couple of thousand outside the Queen's House, Buckingham Palace, whatever. So yeah, a couple of thousand, probably 5. I don't know. No one can put a number on things like this. So yeah, we're all marching against the government, shouting, screaming, swearing at the police. I don't know, but everyone was there for different reasons, different beliefs. I interviewed a couple of people, and one woman was there to save the badges. Another woman was there because she couldn't walk, she was in a wheelchair, and they cut her benefits. There was a man there talking about tax. Everyone was there for different reasons, all aimed at the government, basically. But what I've learned is we're trying to change the government, but the government just can't click their fingers and change like that overnight. If we want to start changing the government, we have to personally change ourselves, because it's not the government that's fucked this world up, it's the people. And take for example, that's the government, right? That is the people, yeah? And the government's this big, and we're this big. So there's more of us than the government. And if we all change, that means the government will have to change with us. Or if we change, we won't have to use the government. We won't have to change the government because we've changed in ourselves. We won't have to be forced to feel the way we feel by the government. If we do something about it, the government can stuff all their politics and crap up their arses, because we won't need them. When I say we need to change is, take for instance, I went out today. I walked down the road, down to my town centre, is a small path. I've got a pushchair, large pushchair. There's people coming my way, so I move out the way. I stand out the way and I wait for them to walk past. They walk past me, staring at the other way, knowing that I've stopped for them, and they don't even look at me. And I turn around and say, thank you, and they just go, really? Like, you could just turn around and say thanks, and that will do. That will please me, you know? I'm sat on the train, and there's I can see about 10 to 20 people in my eyesight from where I'm sat. They're all sat on their phones. Like that. With their headphones in. Avoiding contact with any other human being. Like, what happened to politeness and speaking to strangers? Like, oh no, I don't want to speak to her, I don't know her. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh no, you know, I'd rather sit in my own little bubble on my phone. Just, you know, I don't want to start engaging in a conversation with someone. They might ask me something silly. Do you know what I mean? Like, it really frustrates me. People just waste money. We're just wasting money on food and tops. I go to Asda every Wednesday night, and I go to buy my son's food. You know, or whatever I eat or whatever like that. I end up spending 60 odd quid in Asda. Normally I buy £20 for what I budget myself, and I can get everything I want for £20 or it varies each week. £20 easy. But I've got my card, my piece of fucking plastic from the bank, so if I need to spend more, I've got that there. So I'm not spending that £20 and then having to pay the rest on my card because it's bloody 60 odd quid. And what have I brought? Crap. Food that I don't even really want. I just, ooh, that looks nice. Ooh, buy one get one free. I'll buy that because it's a good deal. Not really, because it's now out of date and I have to throw it away. and then when I go to my town, I go to buy one thing, or I go to the office or bank or something like that, and then I walk past New Look and I think, oh, there's a sale there. I'll pop in there and have a quick look. You end up spending 20 odd quid on 5 tops, and then you go home and then 2 of the tops don't even fit you, and then the third one you're not really sure about the colour. And then they sit in your drawer for the rest of their lives. For the rest of your life in not even being worn. Do you know what I mean? And then you go through your drawers and you think, oh, I've got so many clothes. Oh, I don't even know if I want to wear it or not. Oh, I don't like it, but I'll keep it just in case. When there's homeless people out there shivering in cold during the winter, and in my cupboard I've got about 20 cans of beans. I've got a cupboard full of chocolate bars that I don't even really want to eat because I'm on a diet. Honestly, like, we should be ashamed of ourselves. When I left London on that march, I was walking to the train station, and just under there was a McDonald's on the corner, and then there was a big, shelter bit so people can stand under if it's raining. There was about 30 homeless people just on the other outside of McDonald's. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I was in shock. Me and my friend were stood there, and my friend was close to tears. I could hear it in her voice. And she said, how can we walk past and not do anything? And I emptied my whole purse, and I went round and I shared it with all of the people there. There was a young girl, must have been in her 20s, sat there just shaking, just a coat on. I went to America and I brought this amazing hat. It was like a panda hat, and it was amazing. And it cost me about $20 or something. But I didn't really need the hat. It was making me warm where I was hot. I was walking, when you walk you get hot anyway. So I took it off anyway. It was in my hands. And I thought, to be fair, this is the first time I've worn this hat in the whole year. I just gave it to her and she sat there crying. She was like, oh, I don't know what to say. I was like, well, just cherish it because it was my favourite hat and it came all the way from America, so please just enjoy it. And she just couldn't speak to me because she was in tears. Now, I'll admit, I've got 20 others of those hats in my drawer. And don't. Well, I've got about 5 of them with the tag still on them. Do you know what I mean? I'm looking in my bedroom now. I've got about 20 pairs of trainers, and 15 of them I've never worn. They're still neat and clean on the bottom, and I'm obsessed with just keeping them because they look nice. Because they look nice. Nice, cool trainers. Why not? Do you know what I mean? And there's homeless people out there with no shoes. I don't know. It's just weird. I mean, we just need to change as people. Like, people are so quick at judging people. Like, Jeremy Kyle. Jeremy Kyle's a twat, I'm sorry. But how dare he just judge people as soon as they're on the stage. That's all for TV, by the way. And I just advise everyone to just stop watching it. Because if you watch it, it gives them the ratings to keep carrying on with the fucking show. Which should just be cancelled. Because who would in their right mind take somebody on that show? I feel sorry for the children. The children on that show. That Jeremy Kyle should just die. From if I could just say, oh, I regret that. I don't mean go and die, but you should just retire and leave people as they're, on their own to sort out their own problems. Because you can't change them, Jeremy Kyle. You're just making it even worse. Thank you. But it's just judging people. Do you know what I mean? They're so quick to judge. Like X Factor, you judge. Big Brother, you're judging. All these voting shows, it just puts it in your head to judge people. Oh, I don't like her hair, I'm going to vote her off. Oh, I don't like her personality, she's too loud, I'm going to vote her off. You don't know her. You don't know what her life struggle is. You can't judge someone. I've got tattoos on my arm. I go into a restaurant, I get filthy looks. People sat there just like that, and I'm just like, yeah, what? Do you know what I mean? You don't know me, don't judge me. Because I've got a tattoo doesn't make me a bad person. Do you know what I mean? It's just, people are so quick to judge people nowadays. They just, and then when they get to know them, they're like, oh, you know what, you're quite alright, Before I realised a lot of things, I hated Russell Brand. I really hated him, because he comes across as an idiot in his films, and I just thought, oh, he's a fucking idiot. No, he's a weirdo. Do you know what I mean? He's a little bit woo, but that's him. Do you know what I mean? Just don't judge him. Because he has been through struggles, and everyone has. Everyone has their own life struggles. That don't mean you've got the right to judge them. Just let them get on with their own problems. Do you know what I mean? If you think you're worried or you're having struggle in your lives and, oh, I don't know if I can pay this bill, or, oh, I don't know what top to wear, this one or that one, there's a lot of people out there that are less fortunate than you are. So don't worry too much. I know so many people that worry about crap. Oh no, don't put the dinner on at 6:05. I've got to do it for 7. Otherwise it'll be cold. Get over it. Just deal with it. Just calm down. Just stop getting so worked up in your own little world and calm down. Nothing's going to happen. The world is clearly not going to end, because we know that from 2012. Do you know what I mean? It's going to get worse, because the generation we got nowadays are just rude. All respect has gone. We need to teach our children manners, because somehow down the line, children these days have not got any manners anymore. They're chavs, they're gangs, and I never had that when I was that age. When I was 13, God knows, I was indoors, I don't know, on Bebo, internet, I was with my friends, eating muffins and playing with dolls, maybe, I can't remember. But nowadays, 13 years old, they're down the park with miniskirts on and swearing and fuck this, fuck that. I've got a child of my own now. I take him down the park, and the other day there was about 10 9-year-olds, 9 to 13 maybe, swearing, using the C word. And the first time I heard about the C word, I must have been about, 16? I don't know, but I didn't even know what it was, But nowadays, people at the age of 9 is using it. I'll tell you what, before I had my son, I worked in a town far away, so I had to get the bus every day. On the way back from work one night, it must have been about 10 o'clock at night, the bus done an emergency stop because there was a gang of 9-year-olds throwing rocks at the bus driver window, and he stood there and he wouldn't move, the driver. And I said, "Do you not want to tell them to get away from the window?" Because they were in the front of the bus, on the road, blocking the bus. And he said, "Oh, that if I go out there, they might throw a rock at me." So I had to go out there and tell them to move on, because they wouldn't move on. I can't remember what I exactly said now. I just said, "Go home, learn some manners, get out of the way." I don't know, but they gave me some stick and then they left. But 9 years old, out at 10 o'clock at night, throwing rocks at a moving bus driver. And that's the day I turned around to myself and said, I don't want to have kids. Not if they're going to be brought up with people like this. I don't want my son to turn out like this. But life changes and I've got a son now, but I do not want my son to grow up in a generation like this. So this needs to change. We need to change as people if we want our future to be good. Like, if we think all our future's going to be all technology and flying cars and things like that, it's going to be dark and gloomy. It's going to go downhill. It's not going up, it's going down. I tell you what, for the rich people, it's going up. For the average Joe like myself and working, low, medium class, I don't know how they call it, but we're going down because of the generation we live. The rich people can live in their hotels and big mansions and all that and not be affected by it because they've got all their money in the banks. Don't get me started on banks because it's just weird. I mean, say if you've got £100 in the bank, you don't, because you haven't got that money. The bank owns that money. If you want to get it out, then that becomes your money. But then if you got £100 in the bank, in your bank account, that money isn't real. That money's not there. That's the bank's money. The bank has it. And it's with all the other people's money. And then when you withdraw it, that's from the bank. I don't trust banks. I just don't. Not one bit. But all I'm saying is nature as well. Oh my god, I totally forgot about this. What is happening to our nature? Like, honestly, like, I'm ashamed to even say this, but we're killing nature. Like, don't we realise this? Like, I've seen pictures on the internet, I share it on my page, of the sea filled with rubbish and plastic bottles. Honestly, why are we doing this? Like, birds, millions of birds every day are dying because they're eating bottle lids. Whales are dying because they're eating the actual bottles. Trees are being cut down. Do you not realise, that we need trees? Like, trees provide so much for us. And I'm not going to be a tree hugger and go around hugging trees, but seriously, we should honestly respect our nature. Because even, like they say on the news, I don't watch a lot of news, about the bees dying out. If the bees die out, then we die out. I don't know the scientific way around it, but bees are keeping us alive somehow. I don't know how, with pollen and things like that, but DNA maybe, I'm not sure, but nature really is good to us, and we treat it like shit, and no one cares. Honestly, like, nobody actually cares. I'm doing this video, but I can guarantee only 20 odd people would try and watch it. Like, the rest, like, even my friends, my personal friends, they won't even bother watching it because it'll be, 19 minutes now. They'll be like, oh, that's half an hour, I'm not watching that. I ain't got time to watch that. Honestly, like, people just don't care about anything anymore. They don't care about their neighbour. They don't care about their own family. I've got loads of family. I've got a massive family. I've got a brother in Australia. I've got a sister that lives down the road. Neither of them care about me. Neither of them even want to know me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got cousins. I've got about 20 odd cousins, and I don't even know their names. I know of them. I would walk past them in. I went on a date once, and he turned out to be my cousin. Do you know what I mean? Like, we don't know our own family these days. My own cousin. Now, I'll tell you what, that happened to me twice. I met a guy on Facebook. We met up for a drink. He turned out to be my cousin, and obviously we're family now. Like, I met up with him, and we're now close because we're family. But and I've met loads of I've brought families together on Facebook. Even though I hate Facebook, Facebook is good because it connects people. I've got family from over the world. I've got an uncle in America, and I found my cousin online, and now we're close as hell. Like, I go out there all the time, fly out to America on my own and visit my family. But I didn't know that they were out there. Do you know what I mean? Neither did my mum. My mum didn't speak to her brother for 20 odd years. How can you not do that? Do you know what I mean? Like, I make such an effort to keep contact with all my friends, but they just don't care. Oh, I've got too much things going on. I work too much. I work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. And then when I get home, I've got to have a bath. I've got to get ready for work the next day. Seriously, like, I know it's hard. I've done a Monday to Friday 9 to 5 job before, and I know it's hard, but that's what the government is wanting. But don't let them. Just stay reunited. Just get together. Just, even if you don't do anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, us people, we just need to change so much. There's so much we need to change. There's things we need to do and be more connected. Right, okay, this is my last little bit, and then I'm going to start boring you. My last little thing I want to add to you. Now, everyone fights over God, over what they believe as God is. Whether you think it's a man that lives up in the sky, whether you think there's lots of gods, whether you think God is an alien, you've got all different beliefs and all different religions, and my God, I'm not going to go into it all because there's too many. My opinion, which is only my opinion, and I don't expect you to believe it, because like I said with David Icke and Russell Brand, take it on board and just have it in your mind, don't believe it. My opinion on God is, when your mother became pregnant with you, that's when a God was created inside your mother's womb. And you are your own God. You had the ability to create yourself in a human being's body. In that womb, it was you that made yourself. It was you that created your own body, created this body and soul. That soul of yours created this machine body that we carry as ourselves today. So you walk down the road and you are a God yourself. Inside you is God. Inside you is a universe and God. And that's what makes you make your own choices. Like, people say, oh, you can't make your own choice for yourself these days, but you can, you do. Say if you get lost, you're in your car and you get lost and you don't know which way to go, left or right. It's your God inside you that makes that choice to go left. Well, that's left, but anyway. You choose. You make your own decisions, and that means that's a God inside you. There's no God up there like, this is your destiny and your fate. You choose that fate. You choose what you want to do. I could choose to stop recording now if I wanted to. Or I could choose to carry on talking. I could choose to go to sleep now or eat now. It's up to you what you do. That makes the God inside you. You are a God. You have that ability to choose what to do next. That has that power inside you. Like people say about broken dreams and things like that, but it's not. That's your choice. If you have a dream, follow it and do it. Don't moan about it and say, oh, I want to do this but I can't. Don't say that. The word can't doesn't exist. Just do what you want to do. Yeah, obviously there's things in the way like money and transport and things like that, but get over that and sort it out. If you want to do something that bad, get on and do it. Save your money. Do driving lessons. Get out there and do what you want to do. Because only you can make that happen. Nobody else. You're the one that's in power. You're the one that has the God inside you that has the power to do that. So don't sit around and bloody moan about it all the time. Get off your ass and do something about it. So if somebody says, oh, why can't you do that job then? And you say, oh, blah, 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 I can't. Blah, blah, blah. That's what children these days are like. Do you know, my first job, I was 14 when I first started working. 14 years old. Kids these days finish school and don't even go to college. I went to college and I worked at the same time, but kids don't work these days and they don't want to work. That's why Polish people are coming over and stealing our jobs. They're not stealing, they're taking the jobs that are available. If I'm a boss of a shop and I need somebody's work for me, I'll put a job, advertise my job out the window, and a Polish person comes in, I'm going to give them the job. If an Englishman walks in, I'm going to give him his job. But if the English people don't bother, then I'm going to choose the Polish man. Do you know what I mean? So stop moaning about Polish people stealing our jobs when you're not even making the effort to even get up and look for a job. The employer is going to employ the first person that comes in, and they don't go, oh, Polishman, Englishman, who do I choose? They're going to choose the first person that came in. And what, are we only jealous because Polish people work hard? Because we're too lazy? I'm not going to get into any kind of thing like that because I don't want to start any debates. And by the way, I do not debate with anyone, so if you're going to leave a comment under this video, then go ahead, but I'm not going to reply because I don't debate with people. You're entitled to your own opinion. I'm entitled to my own opinion, and this whole video is my own opinion, and that's that. But yeah, you have God inside you, and be connected with it, because honestly, I'm really, really worried about the future. And do not point the finger at government, because it's not the government's fault. It's our fault. It's our fault that we've got climate change. It's our fault that we're running out of money because we're wasting it. It's our fault that there's people on the streets and things like that. If the government was so worried about homeless people, why don't they open the door to Westminster Abbey or something like that and let them sleep in there? Because isn't that the door to God or whatever? If God really loves our people, open your doors to the homeless. People need to start fucking caring. That's what we need to start doing. And excuse my language, but at the end of the day, it's only a word. If you think that's offensive, go online and find pictures of dead babies in Syria. I find that offensive. And if you find the word fucking offensive, then I'm sorry. But there's a lot of other things out there you should be more concerned about instead of people swearing. We need to be awakened. We need to start realising one or two things, because I'm quite ashamed of myself. And the next month I'm going to change a hell of a lot. I'm going to go through my clothes. I'm going to find every single clothes that I do not wear. I'm going to give them to charity. I'm going to give them to homeless. I'm not going to give them to charity shops because they only sell them on to people like me. I'm going to actually give them to homeless. I'm going to go through my food in my cupboard. I'm going to find the canned beans. I'm going to find chocolate bars and anything that I don't use. Most of it's probably out of date, knowing us, the people. I'm going to go through everything that I own. I'm going to probably look at my loft. I've probably got about 7 odd spare pillows up there that I don't use. People collect too much junk piling up in our house, keeping stuff that we don't even want because it's ours, and I paid 20 odd quid for that. I'm going to keep that. No, because you don't use it. Do you know what I mean? Somebody else might really need that. Making profit out of people selling stuff on. Unless it's obviously worth it, like a phone or a laptop or something. But if it's worth, if you paid £5 for it, why sell it on? Just give it away. Just pass it down to somebody else. Do you really think they can afford it? That's why they're looking for second-hand stuff, because they can't afford new stuff. Honestly, please change, and please realise what we're doing before it's too late. Thank you.